The Origins of Life, Chi Creation, Part 1. Alright, so this one, I had ideas of doing this after the first series, but at the end of the first series, the question about water were quite necessary. And so I've got a file which is like, a collection of pictures which kind of contribute towards this video or series. So I'll probably do that one at the end and stuff like. So until then, I've got all my everything my download folder should be in order. I don't think I need to twist them this time and stuff like that, so I should be able to flow through a bit better. So on this, well, what we were gonna originally, I was gonna call it Treevolution. So then as time's gone on, the idea of like Seavolution, like the ocean, and then like Treevolution as like, as a title, so sea and tree evolution in that kind of way and stuff like. But also with the last series and stuff, like the talk of chi, like the energy which goes through the wave, is a necessary aspect of it as well. And also the idea of evolution is completely removed. It's like, this isn't evolution. This is creation. This is like the method of creation. So yeah, see, chi creation. You could call it sea, tree, and chi creation. But so as we can see, we see how the wave folds and rolls, and it becomes, that wave pattern. You see all the lines, and they become like teeth in that kind of way as well. So they contort and pull in the wave. It happens reverse, you know what I mean, because it comes out as it grows and stuff like. But the information and where it's got it from, including the colours and all that kind of stuff, it's all in there. So this is like the this is showing you all the water in that kind of aspect. Actually, I forgot. I wanted to put some shots on. You see bubbles. Compare that wave. All spray, the wave itself, the roll, the shape of it and stuff like. All liquid inside. And it gets caught in there. It's a bit blurry, is that one, but you got it forming. Almost like a double wave. And then all light that gets trapped within. And then all water that gets trapped within. So you got the wave, the shape and the energy which is forming that. And then all the water which kind of collides underneath becomes like its own thing as well. So in terms of like recognizing the male and female aspect of it, I suppose like in terms of anatomy as well, or especially I suppose, we're seeing two things at once: the male and the female. The female is the roll of a wave, and then the male is all the water which is like captured inside. So like the female being the womb, and the male being the information. It's all the light which has got caught in there. With the water becomes like a tunnel, and then that's the inside of it. You've got the external, which is the wave, and then the inside, which is the tunnel. But it fills up with water. A bigger wave. You got all spray on top, all patterns. I think it's in the wave. All those patterns become relevant. So like So like when you've got your guppy and you've got all your patterns in there, it all becomes distorted and stretched. That's because it's becoming within the wave. So like cows, they have like the cloud shapes, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like it's a bigger wave, not as big as this one, I don't think, but see, this looks like a bald eagle, all that kind of stuff. Like maybe that is from such a big wave, you know, coming to a small package as such as a bald eagle. It is small compared to the wave, but yeah, it's just the reusing of that information. So, back on the male and female aspect of it. See how it fills with water? And light. Well, the light was better on other video. Um, you can see how it all went blue and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can't see it as well on this one. It depends on angle. It depends where the sun is and all that kind of thing. For that one, that photograph I showed you with the Fibonacci spiral with sunlight kind of curling into the wave, all that kind of stuff. So we see the light going in. So compared to this, you see our light, our coil of a wave, it's got this shape to it. You know, like the seashells, which are like long and taper off, and we've got that spiral and stuff like. It's like that. It's kind of like that. That detail of the spiral of it as it gets smaller. It's kind of like part of the funnel shape of a wave. It's like quite often the middle part of a wave will fold over, and then you'll got, you know, like an owl's head, how its head is, and it's got like that pattern, and you can see where the fold of a wave is, and then you've got the walls, which will show you that'd be like the eyes of the parrot and owl, sorry, um, or whichever creature, you know. Um, but when we're talking about the spiral, the coning effect, it's kind of like how if it don't go through the middle, if it collapses at one side and it'll go that way, then you know what I mean. So you can see where the cone is in the wave. You see how the light captures in it, and the shadow. So each peak and trough, which is caught in the wave, kind of contributes to where the light and shadow is patterned. I mean, it coils it up and spins it round, and it becomes part of it. It becomes part of that chakra influence because of that coiling, that spinning round, that shape of what a chakra is. So the light follows that pattern, and then it looks like the water's taking place in it of that chakra shape, you know, as it does its role and all that kind of stuff. So that the light which is being consumed by the wave at that time is taking in these colours, or you know, whichever colours at the time and stuff like. You got loads of different ones and stuff. And this here, we've got how the role of a wave. It's just involved in everything. Like in the first series, when we were first in the first video, we were talking about how it unfurls and all these kind of things. So we can see the chakra shape and all that kind of thing. So again, like the chakra here, it looks like a head, you know, like it's like a butterfly tongue, you know, or the parrot's head and stuff. So you can see the wave pattern everywhere, you know, how it tapers in that kind of way. And how alive it looks with its head part kind of thing. So the teeth of the wave in the plant becomes like a mouth. It looks like a mouth. I think it's accidental, but all of it in that kind of way. How lifelike it looks. Again, like a parrot. How it kills its head in its beak, and then its eyes in the middle. It's like grouped together out in wild in that kind of sense. It just looks like they're alive. Which they are, but I mean, like, in terms of being conscious, like, it could just get up and walk around. It looks like it's got that conscious intellect within it. And maybe it has, It just hasn't got the ability to express it in the way that we can. And how alive it looks. It looks like centipedes or millipedes, kind of, something living. Again, that lifelikeness. Plants in the background as well. It's like one wave, and each one's a wave as well. All relevant to the chakra. It's got two there, almost like the heart shape when you put them together. It's like a swan's neck, There's so many things. You just relate it to things which are alive. It's furry, Again, furry and lifelike. And so it's like an octopus. It's not much different, is it really? Instead of suckers, it's got flowers. So, they're like chakras, and so like the suckers are. And again, how it follows Fibonacci and all that kind of thing. Some plants. I've got all that coiling, all that spiral and stuff like. Connected to like obviously the wave and stuff like, but you get curly hair, don't you? On people and animals and stuff. And so that information is like reproduced, into your hair, and we get anatomy all together and stuff like. It works for straight hair as well, because like the water can lay flat, can't it, and stuff. Or still. And still. So here we've got the roll of a wave, so you can see it, can't you, in that kind of sense and stuff. So we being a flower and what it produces, you know what I mean? It's like it's producing life, and it's producing even more plants, fruits, which also have all the seeds and all these kind of things. And so the wave tapers off, and the energy of the wave, so it kind of creates that tail, like on the tiger. It creates the tail as it laps over the wave and stuff. So we can see the female aspect of the tunnel, you know what I mean? How it kind of creates that fold and stuff. So then when you get like, we pointed it out on previous series about it being the sun. So you got like sunlight, which kind of comes through the wave, all that information, and then it gets formed into that shape, because when it's rolled, and that's separate, it's not separate, but it's like it's another stage of the wave. It's like that first wave part stage where it folds, and that's your petal. And then all the light and information, which thought sunlight, gets trapped in there, gets brought and drawn into that spiral, and draws the information into the memory of the ocean. Is that part, which is more like the male area. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it produces the pollen, which turns into sperm, and so on and stuff. So compare it to like the tongue. You know what I mean? For like the oh, what am I gonna say? Butterflies and things like that kind of thing. I know we have like them coilums and stuff like that kind of thing, like, but there's more aspects to it. It might be better on a different picture. So I have a roll of a wave and all the water comes through. All that light, it goes into that portal, which is like the mind and stuff like of the ocean. Again, all the waves. So each little petal is a wave, but it's kind of incorporated all into one. It looks like egg yolk. So like sunlight. And the white's like froth. You get right white froth, don't you? I can't hold my phone properly. I'm gonna be sorry there. That's better. So yeah, it looks like eggs. That's how we get caught up and fall into it. The pattern within the middle. How it, like a starfish or a human. It could be anything. It could be a dog's head with its legs out. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be upright. And again, all these shapes, they all spiral apart. It's like the tail of a wave in that kind of way. And obviously, your centre part, how it rolls. Unfurls and forms. Again, like the caterpillar going to a butterfly. It's like taking the shape and stuff like. I should have said on the previous one. It's saying, it's forming that life in that kind of sense. It's using that information of light, which is brought from the sun and all that kind of stuff. All the light which is in existence and stuff like from which gets presented to the wave. So there's a lot more to go into it and stuff. So you get your pattern everywhere, and then in the centre as well, you got that pattern, like the starfish shape, or a star, and then a hexagon. So the sun, when we're looking at wood and we're seeing that pattern, we know it's a sun, but we also know it's like a chakra. So we also know that it's like the wave. So it's the tunnel of a wave. So then we look back at how the flowers form, how it creates that tunnel. So when we go back to here, we know that it's a cross section. So how it grows is in that tapered effect. When that grows into a branch, all that kind of thing, it's following that same pattern of how that wave is formed. It's doing it in the same way as it's the light there in the middle of a wave, so it connects to it. The light, which connects to the eyes and vision, so it connects to the peacock feather, etc. So it's like every part of your anatomy, in that kind of sense, has that relationship. Especially with the eye. The eye seems to be quite significantly important. I mean, they all are, the heart and every other thing which is kind of like chakra based. You got a heart shape, a little bit. Also your tides and all that kind of stuff, which is like forming for wood and that lot. It's direction. It's got movement. Like drag line. Again, like the peacock shape. and then how that movement, it looks like VI, so you can connect it like that. Like again, this is a cross section, so we're also talking about it being able to grow outwards and all that kind of stuff. Like, but some of them are quite good. You can get that eye shape, and you got that line that goes behind it. Remember on parrots, you had that line. It's a split in wood, but it's significantly how it should be placed. Again, with like how that overlaps there. You know what I mean? There's lots of different. I mean, yeah, this can be on different ways. It depends whether it's like a. It could be a bird looking that way, or it could be looking that way. If it's a different creature with a line going behind it. It depends how nature's used it and stuff. So yeah, it is different on different animals, but it's also the same pattern. So we can see also, you know, the water, how the ocean moves, you know what I mean, how it flexing these lines and that kind of stuff with pressure, all the energy, where it's flowing and all this kind of stuff. Seeing it in like an oceanic kind of way of looking at the water. As for where the sap comes from, there you got all that build up. It's more like, it's like a, you know, it's the colour of the sun. It's like a yellow colour. And it's also like the wood's gone dark as well, almost like that's become an eclipse. It's not there anymore, it's been chopped on it, so it's missing. You got the movement and the water, like that shape. And obviously the peacock, the line, which is following it. You can see it there as well, but it depends which way it is. It's going that way, so that's appropriate for that part. Like for a crocodile, it'll have a thing going behind, but it'll also have a mouth. Or it could be a bird with a beak, or whichever else and stuff. It might be able to go other way. I think it does on some. So it looks like an eye, how it overlaps. See, like the pareidolia, it's not actually pareidolia as such. I mean, you can make these faces in it and stuff like, but it's where the information for the origins of life to form. You know what I mean? So that's why it makes sense in terms of pareidolia and stuff. Like the sun, the light. Some creatures have like gold eyes or yellow eyes. It's again all the water patterns. How it creates the anatomy in that way. And there's a lot of different creatures you could be imagining to see, whether it's a lizard or fur. You know what I mean? It depends on what creature. But I like a mouth as well. From waves. It's broken out maybe, but I've been associating like the creatures with the water, like we see with water, spray, all that kind of stuff, or splashing out, and then the leaf-like patterns and how they look like watery, and they've got all those patterns, like we saw in the moths, which were like grey and brown, all that kind of stuff, but you could see the ocean on it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's more leafy in a sense, but it's the same though, because the leaves have that same pattern. It's not a good one for the showing actually. I mean, it's got details in there. You can see like a sunspot. You can see a wave there. You can see a wave there, but it's got the crisscross waves, which it does use. You can see them in there as well. It's like these cellular patterns that you get in water. I spoke about them before, for like reptilian skin and stuff. So we've got the horns, which is a part of wave. You consider it to be like just one tooth, which is coming out. So you got the entire wave, but it's focused all its knowledge and information onto that just one tooth. Really, the wave would have like several of them coming out at the same time. It's got a couple more little ones and stuff. It's got the reflection as it's coming over. So you got your wave, alt froth behind it, and then trailing froth, which is all breaking up. It's all bits of it, you know. I mean, you can start to see water again. And wall at wave where it looks black. You know, it's shadowed by froth for one thing and stuff. Your little tiny moths. Oh, it looks like a twig. And so, like, you know, that's where a part of twig where it kind of raises up and stuff like that, in between branches and stuff. You know, the potential to grow out of there and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's just a hump. So it's like a hump in water. So it's like the wave. And then the rest of it is like all the patterns of water. And it's a bit difficult to make out. But you can recognise it more as like looking like a stick. A piece of wood. If we've got another one here. So you can see the hump wave. And then you can see all froth and breaking up patterns in water. I think it's sunlight glistening off at water. It could be froth, but I think the next picture debunks it. So it looks like froth. You know, as you got the sun, it's either overexposure or the eclipse. Which the eclipse is likely to be quite significant, you know what I mean? See how glistening water off at surface at sea. It's got like purpley bits in it. I don't know if you can make it out on my phone. Some more tooth-like shapes. Tooth and arms. And again tapered, so it's like the wave could have gone round that. The wave could have been going round and it's formed this tapered shape. Or, so like, the wave's gone round and that's the water trapped inside which got formed a tapered shape. Or completely off that aspect and it's just a tooth coming out of a wave, so it's like, you know, a wave being created and stuff like. Obviously you got like the wall of a wave there for its eye, and you got another splash out, so splash out, splash out. But also because it's got that tapered shape, it's the same pattern that it would make if it were to tape around, which if it's going to reuse the information and overlap it in different ways, there's no wrong way it being both, which it, I believe it very likely is both. You see wall at wave there. And it trails down, that's your line. Froth and stuff. It's like a wave, isn't it? It's like coming over, overlapping. This is froth, more froth of a crashed wave. They're probably both going back and getting drawn into that as that overlaps. And that one's lifting up into air and doing two things at once. So horns as an aspect of that tapering off. It looks a bit scary, that one, because of the shape of it and stuff. But in the relevance of what that shape is, you know, what's the next one? This is more seashell shape, and you can see all water patterns, you know, this repeated, because this is like the, I won't zoom in, the water inside that wave once it were trapped. From the water's perspective, it could feel like it's going in this shape. In a way, it kind of is, but it was there at the beginning. Obviously, in a sense, but like when the wave first started and it first started to coil, it trapped some water, that starts to twist as more water's getting added to the wave. So when that becomes part of the wave, it's there, and that's now there. So it's kind of like it's constantly going round. So like your snail shell, or anything else which has got this spiral pattern. And again, you see these patterns, and then you start to associate it with trees, what trees bark and trees, how trees grow and stuff like. And we keep repeating the same information. You see all the froth from waves on top of the head and stuff like. There's more horns as well. So here we've got Wallet wave as this horn is coming over. And you got the wave coming this way, right? But it's growing that way. So how it goes both ways in a way. And also you got your perspective lines with that V shape. So, you know, we see on Beatles and all these kind of things, and you kind of rematch everything to appropriate why or how it can have these patterns and stuff like. And then the light patterns, which we showed in a previous video. Hold on. Like these swordfish. When we talked about the horns and the positioning them and stuff like that, about the shape, like the entire fish is a wave. The peak at wave is like its shoulder area, yeah, and then it tapers back up again. So that's like the tail of a wave with its horn. So it's two things. It's kind of like you can see the ridge of a wave as it folds over its eye. So this is the taper, but it's also a point in it. So it's like that's like almost like the inside of that wave as well, or the wave which is coming forward, which creates one single tooth, and it's focused on that information and saying, right, we're going to give you one tooth and put it in the middle, like it did to the parrots and birds and stuff like having that singular beak. So it's a wave going forwards and it's a wave going sideways. It's like the information is repeated in that way and it's overlapped and then, just reused in different ways. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the tooth of a wave it's like a fingernail, you know what I mean? And stuff like, so how it connects in those kind of ways and stuff. And that repeats that information. So yeah, I mean, 32 minutes 50. So I'm gonna have to stop it here, and I'll get on with the next one. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you later.